Hi, folks. How are you doing? I'm Captain Mark Stevenson. Welcome to another episode of From the Wheelhouse. And we have two great guests. So I want you to do this right from the top of the show. I want you to grab an ink pen and some paper because we're going to give you some vital information. And you have to get ready. You have to get your seatbelt tightened up because we're going to really give you some good information. Today, ladies and gentlemen, to the right of me, I have Captain Doug Stein.
Good evening. How are you, Captain?
I couldn't be better. And next to him, ladies and gentlemen, is Captain Deborah Leisure. Leisure?
Nice to meet you.
Good job with that. Good job with that.
We tried phonetic.
And I'm telling you, these folks are really going to give us some good information because we are talking about boating safety and boating safety courses. And we're going to talk about the Skipper's Boat Club today. What the heck is this? This is a club that is happening in Chicago that is sponsored by a company that we all have heard of if you're in the boat business. And all of my fans out there are in the boat business for sure. We're going to be talking about how a young person can get out of the basement. Yeah, that's right. I said it. You have some people in your family, some young folks in your family right now who are in the basement playing video games, collecting dust, eating up your food, taking up space in your house, breathing your oxygen and using your electricity. Now we're going to give you an opportunity to make sure that they are able to get on the waterfront and get trained in boating safety, and perhaps they can be the next captain, no matter what their background is. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Not just on the waterfront, they can actually get in the water.
Oh, my goodness.
Or on the water. Right?
Well, wait a minute. Captain Doug, as I was looking... As I was looking at a picture that you guys sent me, I saw 3 students, and your students are from what age is 13 to 19?
13 to 19.
13 to 19, okay. I saw a couple of these students were black females.
Absolutely.
Now, haven't you heard that black people have a real struggle swimming?
I have not met a single one yet who has.
We don't even use the swimming pools in our community. What are you talking about? I heard that we have negative buoyancy.
Well, the other thing is the boat has buoyancy, so we should be good. So if you think you don't have buoyancy, we'll supplement buoyancy.
Captain Doug told me it's not true. It's not true.
It's not true. And we do wear life vests, so we're good. We float.
Yes.
So negative buoyancy is out of the question.
That's pretty good. Now, this is a call-in interactive show. The number's going to be up on the screen in a second. Make sure that you call in. We're going to take a couple of calls here today, hopefully. But first, I want to get to this program. What the heck is Skipper's Club?
Okay, so
Go
I
ahead.
gotcha.
No,
I
go
gotcha.
ahead.
Captain Deborah.
So Skipper's Club is a wonderful program where we received funding from the Evan Rood Foundation. They used to
Evan Rood.
Yes.
That's
I know
the name on the back of the boat motors that I see all over the lake. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Good luck buying a new one because they took the money that they had left over and they created a foundation to support educating kids on the water in a very safe and exposed way.
Is that right, Deborah?
Absolutely.
Excuse me, Captain Deborah.
That's okay.
And so they have they have provided funding to train some 48 students, is it?
We're going to find places for 24 students in Chicago.
Oh, 24 in
and
Chicago.
24 in Milwaukee. So if you have friends and family who live up north, we have another program, the same program a week later, that's doing the same thing.
Is that right? Now,
Absolutely.
you folks need to know this, that if you're associated with Captain Mark, and we've talked about this before, we go up to Milwaukee on a regular basis. So we need to be able to join both of these groups together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, this is exciting. Now, what other requirements does a young person have to have in order to be in the Skipper's Club?
Well, we've been pretty wide encompassing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They just have to have an interest to getting out of the water and learning about boating. and they have to be between the ages of 13 to 19. And we do ask that they go on to our website and write an essay. We've had a conversation about that before the show. But they do have to write an essay to tell them why they're interested in it, how they think it'll benefit them. And then we're going to have a drawing. So they have until April 15th, which
Yes.
is tax day, yeah. But April 15th.
April 15th,
April
okay.
15th. They can go onto the website, put their essay in, and then on May 1st, we're going to announce the 48 winners, 24 for Chicago and 24 for Milwaukee.
Well,
And look,
Captain
this is-
Doug, I have to tell you, and I think that we talked about this prior to the show. You're looking at a man that, even though I'm a captain today, and I've been a biology and chemistry teacher and physics teacher, but I'm 67 years old today. But I didn't know how to even read until I was 21. In fact, when I graduated from high school, I couldn't even read the diploma they gave me when I walked across the stage in 1974. So
Did you have
how
upside
am I?
down or? Sorry.
That's pretty good. But how am I expected to ask my students? Now, these students are usually folks that have had all types of challenges in their life.
right.
And many of them can't read or write very well. Now you're asking them to write an essay. How can we help them to get through that portion of the application process?
So we talked about that before the show, and we decided that for some of your audience and some of your students, that they can call you or email you directly, right? And you're going to put them in touch with Boat Safe Great Lakes that runs this program, and we're going to get some of your kids on board because that's absolutely necessary.
Wow. Folks, if you just joined us, I'm Captain Mark. You know me already, but next to me are two heroes. And I think they would have been abolitionists a couple of 100 years ago because they are reaching into every community, not just the black community, but every community that has economically disadvantaged individuals who would love to get out on the lakefront. You have my address. My email address is right at the bottom of the screen. Take a look at it. But I want you to keep your pen handy, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to give you a way that you can get in touch with these great folks directly, okay? Also, I want you to know this. My telephone, I don't care about giving my phone out or over the air. My wife has allowed me to do so. My phone is never, ever filled up. My phone number is 312-437-2230. That's 312-437-2230. And I really can't miss this one. Today's show is dedicated to my 18th grandson. Yeah, I got 18th grandchildren, and I have 7 great-grandchildren. But my 18th grandson, his name is King Sidney. We're not raising him as a regular person. We're raising him as a brand. Hello, Sidney. How are you doing?
But 18 grandchildren and great-grandchildren, when have you found any time to boat?
In Chicago, we have our season, and I get this question all the time. We start our season on April the 15th, and we complete our season as late as November the 15th. Usually it's at the end of October, but we can go all the way to November the 15th. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can get involved in the maritime industry, use my email address. I'll get you in touch with these folks. But meanwhile, I want you to write this down. What is your email address?
So you don't have to go to an email. It's just our website, and that's boatsafegreatlakes.com. Boatsafegreatlakes.com.
Wow, that's an easy one. BoatSafeGreatLakes.com. Don't worry if you were a little bit slow at getting that. We're going to put it out there again for you. Tell me this. Is there really growth that you're seeing right now in the maritime industry?
Absolutely. You want to
Why?
take this? Or?
Absolutely. And there's plenty of room for women and people of color. And what's beautiful is when working on the rivers, listening to the calls that you get over the maritime radio, we are hearing more women's voices for sure. And I know a lot of people that I've met, unfortunately, most of them are down south at like 31st Street, but lots of new black captains.
Absolutely. I picked up a couple of girls off the street now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, my wife is listening right now. She's listening. But yeah, I picked them up off the street, but not for what some of you might think, you nasty people. I pick them up and tell them, this is your lucky day. I need a deckhand. And I show them a few pictures of what I do, and I let them come on the boat with me. I'll usually tell them, you're going to make at least $100, so I'll give you half of your money right now and the other half at the end of the day. And I'll take out a $100 bill and tear it in half. And tell them, you work real hard, you might even get a tip also. But do you know, to date, I'm proud to say that 6 of them are full captains, female captains.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely wonderful.
We've made 36 captains so far, and we want to help you with Skippers Club to make sure that we are funneling some of the younger people in.
Yep.
What made you all want to do something like this? I mean, really, this is something that you don't have to do. This has got to be a thankless job.
Not at all. It's great to be able to give back in our industry, to be able to teach young people how to be safe on the water, how to contribute, how to get out there on the water, not just the waterfront.
What do you mean contribute?
Well, I mean, they can contribute to their home, their family. They can actually earn a living. There's lots of ways to earn a living on a boat. And to be honest with you, I didn't know that for a good part of my life. But those opportunities are out there, whether it's boat transit or whether it's industrial boating or whether it's pleasure boating, chartering, skippering, or being a yacht hand. There's plenty of things. You can travel. Lots of opportunities. Look at cruise ships.
Captain Deborah, I think that we were talking before about some female named Captain Sandy Yawn. Tell us a little bit about her.
Actually, that was Captain Doug.
Oh, Captain Doug.
We look alike. So
They look alike. I know they all look alike to me.
We were talking about why we. Wow. I just thought that. Sorry. So we were talking about how there's a lot more of an influx of female captains in the industry. And
Yes.
You said, why do you think that is? And I took a stab and said, well, it could be below deck Mediterranean with Captain Sandy. She's made a big impact in the boating industry for females, and she's an amazing captain, a great leader. And she's just shown season after season, just amazing attributes for what she does, and she shows all the great ways that you can actually earn a living in this industry. So she's been, a fantastic spokesperson. I think she's written a book that you said.
I wish that I could meet her. I've read her book. I've listened to her book on audible.com. You can listen to her book for free.
Right.
And she has tons of videos on YouTube. Captain Sandy Yawn, Y-A-W-N. This lady has shown us how to deliver 7-star service as opposed to 5-star service. She delivers 7-star service in the form of driving boats for what we call super yachts. Now, I just came back yesterday from Miami for the Miami Boat Show. I understand you guys might have been there too, right?
We weren't there, but our partners with Safer Boater were there, and it was an exciting show. We really wanted to get down there, but Safer Boater was represented down there in a big way, and they are bringing a national rollout of safe boating into the industry that's the likes of which hasn't been seen before. So it's going to be pretty exciting. We're also partnered with them as well.
I see. Now, when does this program start to train? I know we only have about 55 days or so
Right.
from today. This is a live call-in show. I'm telling you, only about 55 days from today. When does the Skippers Club start?
So, Captain, once we make the announcement on May 1, training begins in Chicago on June 17th.
June
It's,
17th.
It's 4 days, but we have a fifth day on a Friday for rain, in case of rain up for a makeup day. And then we go to Milwaukee from the 24th into the 28th. So 24 students in both states, in both cities, and then June 17th to the 21st, and June 24th to the 28th in Milwaukee.
Now, who's doing the training, and what boats are you using?
We are, and the boats have been provided by, I believe, is it Freedom Boat Club? Or
I'm
is
not
it,
sure yet.
we're not 100% sure, but we'll get
Yeah.
back to you on that. But Boat Safe Great Lakes is sponsoring the whole thing. So they're providing the boats, they're providing lunch for the students.
I see.
They're providing all the accredited captains.
Yep.
Deborah and I are accredited to teach these courses, and
Wonderful.
we'll be teaching them for the first time, so excited about that.
I'm excited too.
And yeah, it's an all-day, Monday through Thursday, with Friday for a rainout day.
Well, Captain Mark might just have some connections for you for some boats that you can use for training
Fantastic.
if you need
Fantastic.
some.
Wonderful.
As I've been in this industry all of my adult life, and there's an awful big need for captains. I can tell you, folks, we have had such a shortage of captains over the past few years. Now, what do captains make? What kind of money do they really make?
It's a wide range on that.
Very wide gamut.
Very, very wide.
Well, is it better than McDonald's?
Oh, way better than McDonald's.
Is it better than Burger
Actually,
King?
In a lot of cases, even just being a first mate, where you're being the backup for the captain, pays very well. People can make as much as like $2.50 an hour on the holidays and stuff like that. So that's always important. But the other thing that I want to share is like
That's not $2.50
no,
an
no,
hour,
it's
ladies
$250.
and gentlemen.
Yes, and plus tip. So
Plus tip.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's for charter boating. Then
That's for charter
there's
boating.
there's
How much
other
training do
boating.
you have to really get into this to make $50, $75, or $100 an hour?
Well, it happens over time. So you do have to have sea time. You have to get your feet on the boat, on the water, and you accrue the hours based on how large the boat is for what type of a certification you can apply for.
I understand you have to have 360 days
Yep.
of sea time in order to apply for your captain's license.
Numbers sound scary though.
Well, in Chicago, we have
day is
such a
4
short
hours.
season.
A day is 4 hours.
Oh, a day is
So,
4
if
hours.
You also have to have 90 days in the
The current year.
previous 6 months before you can get your license.
Okay.
So 300
360 days during the last 5 years.
So
Right.
200 and something needs to be done anytime in 5 years or 7 years, and then the last 90 hours or 90 days.
If I'm a student in Skippers Club, are those days counted?
They aren't actually. They aren't, but they do get credentials for passing this test.
Stackable credentials. Let's talk about
Right.
those. The stackable credentials are very important in our industry. We have to have things like a drug consortium. That means you have to be willing to put the blunts down, young people. Put them down. I'm telling you, you have to. you have to be clean
Yeah.
and take drug tests randomly.
Right.
Is
because
that
we're-
right?
Because we're federally regulated.
Right.
Yes.
I understand that all the waterways, especially any waterways you put a boat on, even though Illinois is legal for recreational marijuana, for example,
Correct.
on the
Not in federal
waterfront,
waters.
Not in federal
on the
waters.
waterfront, it's different, right?
That's correct.
Why?
Because they're federal waters, so they're controlled by the federal
Federal government, yeah.
Okay.
So they
Yeah.
say no.
It's not legal federally yet. So you have to be willing to set the blunts down for now, folks. What else do you have to have? Something about first aid and CPR.
Yeah, you have to have first aid training, CPR training. You have to have a very rigorous medical exam.
Yes.
Very rigorous eye exam.
And hearing.
And hearing, yep.
Yes.
You have to do whisper tests and things like that. And then you also have to have a TWIC card. A Twix card? Twix
Yes.
card.
I see.
TWIC, TWIC.
Transit Workers Identification
Very
Card.
good. I wouldn't
So
remember
we
that.
are-
That hearing test is the hard part for me. My wife tells me I have selective hearing.
All
Selective
of us
hearing.
husbands do.
Absolutely. But I can tell you, the medical things that we have to go through aren't really that hard.
No.
Okay, especially for a 13 to 19-year-old. They're not like me that's on all types of blood pressure medication and cholesterol medication and all of this. These opportunities are real. Folks, know this. Here, grab your pen again. What is your email address? Excuse me. What is your
Go ahead.
website?
All right, so that is boatsafegreatlakes.com.
Say it again, please.
boatsafegreatlakes.com.
And you can also write Captain Mark at the email address that you see at the bottom of the screen, or you can call me at 312-437-2230. I want you to know that so many opportunities have been made available, but why is it that you all think that that young people are just not coming around? What do we have to do to get them out there on the lake
It's
besides
scary.
telling them you can come and see the bikinis?
Okay, it's scary. It's
That should
scary.
be enough reason, right?
So you're dealing with a big
For
open,
old fart like you, sure.
Wow.
you're dealing with a big body of water. You're dealing with big boats with big engines and things like that. Even the small ones, when they move, can be kind of scary. But learning things in baby steps, trying something, working with someone who's experienced, who's got your back, and it's not that difficult.
What if you
Learn
don't
all
want
the time.
what if you don't want the responsibility, Captain Deborah, of being a captain?
Then you don't have to go that far. That's absolutely fine. But these classes are great to have as an educated passenger along on the boat. If they like to do a little bit but not a lot, they can become our first mate or our second mate. They can learn to put the boat in the slip and to tie it down. They don't have to have all the responsibility.
That's a way to get a step in or a foot in the door.
This is a great way to explore, just like when you're applying for colleges and people are like, oh, what is your major going to be? And you're like, I don't know.
Right.
Try things out.
Even if you do know, it doesn't work out like that. Captain Doug, final words.
Final words. Well,
Look into the camera, don't look
let's
at
just
me.
remind you the facts, right? So we have the Skippers Club coming up. We're taking 48 teens, ages 13 through 19. There's 48 slots available, 24 in Chicago, 24 in Milwaukee. We're looking for essays on why you're interested for the program, to be into the program, why you think it will be helpful for you, why it might change your life. And those written essays can be submitted up until April 15th. Great Lakes, Boat Safe Great Lakes, sorry. And the winners will be announced May 1st. And from there, they're going to train June 17th to the 21st in Chicago, and in Milwaukee, the 24th to the 28th. This program's absolutely free. It's normally $1,499 for each student.
$1,500.
$1,500.
Wow.
It's free, right? And they get lunch. So how do you beat that? Free lunch. There is such a thing. So go to boatsafegreatlakes.com, fill out your essay. If you don't want to fill out an essay or you can't fill out an essay, call Captain Mark, and he's going to pull some strings with Boat Safe Great Lakes.
Folks, I just want to thank you for tuning in today. I mean, I really couldn't thank you enough for taking the time to tune in. Make sure that you send an email to me. Make sure that you visit the website. Give it one more time real quick.
BoatSafeGreatLakes.com.
I have to keep pressing that. Yeah. Now, folks, we have to go. This little half hour just really flies by us. So until next week, from the Wheelhouse, Captain Mark Stevenson, I don't care what anybody thinks of me because I've never sought anybody's approval but yours. Until next week, we'll see you then. Mama, get the coffee ready because the kid, he's on his way.